Hey y'all, I'm Hudson.
And I'm Harmony.
And this is our introduction as well as our roof rack and Maxxair Fan install for our van. So we just bought our van and we are super excited to share the whole build process. We ended up going with a Ford Transit 2021 high roof extended, and I just felt that was the best option for us. Since I'm a tall guy, that was the only option for us to be able to stand up and also sleep in certain arrangements. We're really excited to share the whole build process with you guys, and hope that you guys stick along and join us on the journey.
We're building it in our apartment living room. We have sold almost all of our furniture, and we're having to build it literally in our living room and move all of it down to our van in the parking lot. I don't think a lot of people typically have to build it in an apartment or share that they're building it in an apartment. I also just quit my job recently to pursue full-time van life so that we can convert our van, and also so that I can post all this content and new content creation as well. So it's a very hectic time trying to figure everything out and also build a van. And also our lease is ending, which is why we have to build our van in 3 months. We currently only have 2 months left. We don't even know if we're gonna be able to build it in time for us to transition from apartment living to van life living, since our lease is ending and that's the transition date, and we have no experience building fans.
We're super limited. We don't have any tools. I've got a couple screwdrivers, but that's about it. And so we're gonna be borrowing tools, going to pawn shops, trying to figure this all out while we live in a 700 square foot apartment on the 3rd floor. We don't have like a garage or anything to work in either, so lots of learning is taking place. We've been doing all the research studies, and we've been failing a lot too, but we've been figuring it out and learning. Hopefully you guys can learn from our mistakes if you're creating your own van, and you won't have to make so many mistakes.
Yeah.
So back whenever me and Harm were dating, we had this crazy idea, well really 2 ideas, to either move to Hawaii or to start van life, and we had this long decision-making process. And once we got married, we ended up going with van life because we felt like that made more sense to us.
Yeah, so we saved up for 9 months and then bought our van in January, and then have been figuring out how to convert this thing.
We've got this amazing travel plan afterwards. We're gonna go basically from one side of the United States all the way up to the other corner of the United States. That's gonna be crazy. We're hoping that we can fit it in by the end of the year.
We're just wanting to share our van, our experiences, our life, all summed up on this channel. So yeah, I'm super excited to be able to share with everyone. This is really exciting.
So guys, we installed the Unaka 148 standard Ford Transit extended, all those in whatever formation they're in. But it's the Unaka roof rack for the Ford Transit extended. Here's some of the tips that I was able to take away whenever we were installing it. Tip number 1 would probably be to make sure you assemble it inside before you take it. If you're working in a garage or working in your apartment like we are, it's super helpful to have an idea of where all your solar panels are gonna go, what the width is gonna be, and then where you're gonna be placing your Maxxair fans, your AC, whatever you're putting on your van. But that was one of the big takeaways for us. We felt that was really, really valuable, getting it all sorted out beforehand. Tip number 2 would be to know where your solar panel brackets are gonna be mounted on your roof rack. And then also understand where the greater orientation is of all your items that are gonna be going on your roof. We did this ahead of time, but also had to readjust once we got it up on top of the van, because we didn't realize, especially on the Unaka roof rack, that with the wider version, you gotta mount the roof mount brackets on the inside, which affects where your solar panels sit. So that was a really valuable takeaway. Tip number 3 would probably be to start early in the morning, just because it might take longer than you think. I've watched a couple videos of different people using multiple different roof racks, and it usually takes longer than you're thinking, unless you're just a pro at installing roof racks, which I'm not. And it took me, I think, about, 2 or 3 days to get it fully completed. Tip number 4 would be to, whenever you're sealing, make sure you've got good weather. We went with the black Dicor lap sealant as our choice for sealant along the roof mount brackets. And that has worked out really well. My final tip for you guys would be to really have a good understanding of what roof rack you're gonna get, as well as what solar panels you're gonna get, and understand what configuration you're doing, because with the one we did, it limited us to certain configurations, and it made it kind of difficult on us whenever we were mounting the rear solar panels, because it doesn't all the way attach.
Yeah, so just be sure to make sure you know solar and roof rack before buying those items.
Yep. Let's stop talking about it and let's just go show you guys. So what I'm doing is going in with these little bracket thingies right here, as you can see. We're gonna peel those up, and so in order to be able to tell which ones, because there's a lot of them, if you can see, I think there's like 8, and we only need to take off 4 or 5. I'm marking the ones we need to take off with Expo. Right into the van.
We relocated and we're at Lowe's now. We had to grab a couple things, and so Hudson's on the roof. We're just doing it here.
It just so happened we needed to get some goo gone to be able to get some of this gunk out of this place. If you can see here, there's a bunch of this kind of like black stuff. Luckily, I've been able to get it off for the most part. And like this one back here is a good example of.
I'm sorry, I don't know if they can hear you over the highway.
Okay. So luckily, this is a good example right here of what a good one looks like. You know, all you need is like a little guy like this and some Goo Gone, maybe a rag or paper towel, and you're good to go.
So it got pretty cold, so we drove back to the apartment and we're doing the rest of it in the dark back here.
Unfortunately, we messed up and mounted all these guys, or the rods, on the inside rather than on the outside of the brackets. And so now we got to flip everything around, including all the little nuts and bolts right up there, and so that way it faces the right way and it has the width. We got up there, tried to mount the crossbars. It was not wide enough, and now we need the extra space, so we're having to go back up and redo everything.
Guys, this is literally so scary. See the difference? We're not touching. We're not touching. We've been so careful. We forgot to put the solar brackets on, so I'm going to grab them right now. So Hudson will have to undo the roof rack again, because we had to do that earlier. We're having to do it again because we forgot about the solar brackets. So that we can do the solar brackets, then put the roof rack back together, and then put the crossbars over, so that we can be done. Okay, he's signaling me, so I'm gonna have to go. It's day 2. Hudson got up before me to start on the van, and I just got up. We ran into another problem. To be able to drive safely, we don't have enough time to fix it before church, sadly. I'm gonna put church on the speaker that we have so that we can listen and work at the same time. He changed his mind and he's trying to tie down everything right now so that we can go to church. We're still gonna be a little late, but it's okay. We're gonna make it to church in one piece, hopefully. This is terrifying.
So far, so good. I didn't even hear rattling, dude.
I heard something.
Hey, nothing's falling around. No like screws are loose or anything. So I think we're gonna be okay.
Okay. We just got back from church and lunch, and we found these stairs and this deck that would be beneficial for Hudson to be able to get all the things done on the top without having to move the ladder everywhere. So we're here right now fixing the roof rack.
Now we're sliding on solar panel brackets.
He's adding the Loctite right now.
And it's Loctite. We're gonna put one of these solar panels on, maybe 2 of them, just to get like the width, and tape off the section in the middle where our fan's at.
Here it is. It fits, right? Does it fit good?
It fits.
This is day 2 of sealing the van. We're gonna get the sucker done.
Yeah, we're gonna do it. First, you gotta take out this little cap thing. All right, you want to clean these things before you do it. Just a little bit of Dawn dish soap, wiping it up here, getting it nice and ready for some lap sealant. You want it to be nice and dry when you apply the sealant. This is expert level lap sealant technique. It's called the reverse grip. Only expert level lap sealant experts should be using this technique.
Really hoping we have enough lap sealant to.
Me too. Does it look like we're getting low?
Not quite, but it's just like, I think it's a little bit, I think it's halfway right now.
This is another expert level lap sealant technique. This is the soapy technique. It's just some Dawn dish soap and a finger. That's all you need. It smooths out the edges right here. So that way we get a nice crisp finish for our expert level lap sealant technique.
I have to say, it is very satisfying.
That looks clean right there. Soapy finger technique. Alright, I'll peel up the stickers now. So last night we had a surprise rainstorm come in, and we haven't finished our sealant yet. We've got these 3 brackets on the front here, and so we were in the middle of planning some stuff out, doing some research, and all of a sudden we heard some heavy rain coming down, and we were like, huh, oh crud. And so we ran down and put up a tarp as quick as we could. It was like 12 a.m. and all the way to 1 a.m. because I figured out the tarp wasn't covering up one of the brackets.
It was like 12:30 when we realized it was starting to rain.
So this is our masterpiece here.
Now we gotta take it down.
Take it down. Hopefully we can get our more sealant, but before the next time it rains,
but
that way
it's
we don't have
supposed
to worry
to
about it.
It's supposed to rain on Sunday, and we get the sealant Monday. So
we're probably gonna have to put up the tarp again. So.
Hopefully everything's okay and good. But yeah. We're about to do something kind of sketchy. We're gonna throw this over our balcony down 3 stories and plug it in so we can jigsaw cut our van. And just fed it down to him. It's all the way down there and everything's working. I'm gonna go over the list of everything we're about to do. First, he's gonna do pilot holes to make sure that the square that we taped up is in the right spot, and then we'll do 1 pilot hole in the center, pilot holes on the outside, then he'll go through with the jigsaw and cut out the hole. We'll file it, then vacuum, Rust-Oleum on the edge, and then butyl tape, put the square trim on, we'll seal it, screw it, and then put the Air Max Fan on.
Alright, so I've got a little piece of cardboard up here, and it's kind of a perfect little square to fit onto our little hole. We used it to be able to kind of get the size right and just double confirm on if this hole is right. We've got Harmony underneath me. She's going to be watching down below to see if the hole I drill is right. Here's the area. I'm going to drill probably right through right here. Just get a nice little pilot hole just to confirm that this is where we're wanting it. There she is down there if you heard her. We're gonna need a bigger drill bit. Just broke the drill bit. Sorry, Dad. All right, so pro tip from a non-pro, make sure you use a big enough drill bit when drilling through metal plating because we just broke the drill bit. So pro tip from a non-pro. This is really scary. Hey, I broke the blade. One more strip and we're done with this one.
That was terrifying.
It was very, very hectic and stressful because as I was up top with the jigsaw, I don't know, we bought this jigsaw from a pawn shop, and it was
$21. Yeah.
And you know, I thought it was going to be a good jigsaw. I think it is a good jigsaw. It's
Maybe
probably
just
just user error.
Yeah, but just don't know how to use it.
But man, that thing was like jiggy. It would move like crazy fast, and then also it would jump out of there. And I was holding it pretty firm. Then it would jump out at certain parts whenever I started cutting and the metal started bending down.
After all the cutting and filing of this one hole, just one, we vacuumed the bottom and then the top.
All the metal shavings.
Yeah, and then Rust-Oleum. It's dark outside. It's currently 9:30, and I'm like, wait a minute, it has to dry. The bottle said it has to dry for 2 to 4 hours. For handling, it's like 6 hours.
Mm.
The videos that we checked, that we reference, never say how long they wait. We thought maybe 20, maybe 30 minutes. No.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't even know if some of them actually wait as long as they're supposed to or not.
Yeah.
I think technically the best time to wait is 24 hours. We don't have that. We can't do anything else.
We had a little cardboard box with a trash bag over the top taped down, so that way it can dry off, and then the trash bag doesn't get stuck to the paint.
So that's on top of our van right now.
Mm-hmm.
So that tomorrow we can install the fan.
Luckily, the hole turned out okay. Just had to Rust-Oleum some scratches.
I feel like super discouraged that we didn't get what we thought done today. It's pretty discouraging when you're working on something and you're like, you have a plan, you're gonna execute it, and then you just keep not executing it when you think you're going to. And
you extremely underestimate how long time is going to take for some of these things. I thought we were going to be out there for maybe an hour and a half getting it done. We were out there for 3.5 hours, and we didn't even get it done. We didn't get one done.
No.
We broke like 3 of the jigsaw blades. We broke a drill bit. Sorry, Dad. And
sorry. We have a time frame of 2 months left.
There goes another day.
Like, is 2 months actually fathomable when we can't even get one fan done? So we're gonna come back tomorrow.
We got the hole. It's a little bit rough, but it'll do. And we're gonna put these little wooden pieces with some construction adhesive attached up here. I'm gonna put a lot on this one because there's a little gap right there, but it should be able to work. I'll have some other pieces going around each, making a little square that we can drill into. That way we're not just drilling into just metal, but we've got a nice wood piece to drill into on the other side of that. So this is gonna be attempt number 2 here. We got the number 1 over there. We got more daylight today, which is really nice. Wish me luck, because last time was a little bit rough, but it's gonna work better this time. All right, you're good.
Okay, so we just finished our holes. This one, she's drying. The back one, she's also drying with Rust-Oleum. So drying. It's our anniversary. We're going to Double Dave's.
We're getting pepperoni rolls.
We are. So we're gonna just have to drive with the holes in the van, and
What's gonna happen?
we don't care. It's not gonna stop us.
Nope.
We cleaned the inside of the van, we vacuumed it all out, wiped off the bottom, put tarp so we could put our stuff in so nothing else gets dirty. Into the van, no dirty, and in. Okay, we're going! Back at it again with the van.
And more butyl tape.
Yep, yeah, so we did.
Back at it again with the white vans. We have a white van.
We do have a white van. We did the first fan yesterday. It ended up turning out, which is good, but it definitely was more challenging than we were thinking and a lot messier than we were thinking. So we're hoping the second fan that we're doing tonight is going to be a lot easier and a lot quicker, because we know what to do, what not to do. I would watch out on putting sealant on the inside of the trim piece that you put down, because if you put a lot, it does get very messy.
So I would do just like a thin layer because ours was like super goopy and it like started leaking into the inside of our fan.
Not into the fan, into the van.
Into the van from the fan hole. And so whenever we sealed it and we squished it down with the screws, it leaked out of the sides and started kind of oozing into that hole where we were going to put our fan in.
Like, we kept having to wipe it up so it didn't drip on the floor.
For that trim ring, I would only do like a thin, small layer of sealant and then go over the top with it. That's what we're going to do for the second one. We'll show you that here shortly. All right, so right now we are adding a couple layers of butyl tape. We're doing so to add a extra layer of sealant around these fans, and we're making a nice even layer. We'll have a couple more layers here because of this little divot, and then over here we'll have 1 or 2 layers. And this stuff is really nice. It's like a super hydrophobic, and so it's going to be a nice layer on top of all of the sealant we're going to put down to just keep all the water from the outside of our van from getting into the inside. All right, so we got all our butyl tape pre-cut and ready. Another thing that we noticed is on some of these uneven spaces where we did construction adhesive, the wooden pieces are still pretty loose. And so one of the things that happened yesterday was one of them fell off and bonked Harmony on the head because she was holding up others, and I felt really bad. But just be careful with that, and you're going to want to make sure that you got some clamps to hold on to these guys, and you want to be able to do it really quick once you take these clamps off, because those can fall if you're not careful. And if you don't have someone to hold up for you, you want it to be there.
Okay.
I was
gonna say you're not being sarcastic.
Oh.
Yikes.
Yikes, you don't want to do that.
That was crazy. Yeah. We're going to put sealant on the inside of the trim piece. Only a little bit.
So if you look at these guys, in the box, we had trouble getting the first fan in up there. And the main reason was whenever we took them out, they looked like this. And they've got this like little plastic piece right here that it sits on. Well, it's really just this right here, but they got the metal piece that goes on top. That's what you're drilling through to drill into the fan right over here. And you drill a screw through there and it hooks into the fan that inserts into here. But what they don't tell you in the instructions is that you can kind of like wobble these guys up until it gets into this position right here. And you can do that using like a pair of pliers to get it nice and up in that upright position until where it's perfect. Ours needed that because the holes wouldn't align. I've seen guys that go ahead and just drill through the metal. Don't recommend doing that because you know it damages the this piece that's basically keeping it on.
This right here is what we were struggling with so much on the other fan. So we're gonna wipe that sucker up and make a good little crease in that crevice. Make sure you open up the fan. We almost forgot. Make sure the wire goes through the hole and then position it down. After 4 attempts to put the fan in to make sure it's perfectly aligned, now we're screwing it in. This is what happens when you do insanely awesome measuring.
But if you're a perfectionist like I am, and you want this to look a little bit better than just kind of goo on top, get some like Dawn dish soap, mix it with some water, and then you can just kind of come in and touch it up without getting your hands all sticky. I'm just touching up the edges as I'm peeling it off because it likes to stick to the tape a little bit, but as long as you kind of just dab it with a soapy finger, it should stay pretty straight on there.
Now we're going back in and putting sealant on top of all the screws and then calling it a night with the roof fans. Then after that we're going to seal the rest of the roof brackets because we ran out of sealant, and we finally got the sealant. We're gonna seal that up before it rains.
Got the screws all sealed up and everything.
Yeah, we just finished sealing.
We did it.
Yay! And it's almost 2 in the morning.
Oh my gosh.
Yay! It's okay. We're done. We're done. Yes.
I'm just gonna mount solar panels.
Yay. Okay, adios.